A cathedral seat bench, from kata down, plus hedra seat base chair, is a Christian church which contains the seat of a bishop, thus serving as the central church of a diocese, conference, or episcopate. The counterpart term for such a church in German is Dom, from Latin domus, ecclesiae, domus episcopalis, also Italian Duomo, Dutch Domkerk, and cognates in many other European languages. Churches with the function of cathedral are usually specific to those Christian denominations with an episcopal hierarchy, such as the Roman Catholic, Anglican, Orthodox, and some Lutheran and Methodist churches. Church buildings embodying the functions of a cathedral first appear in Italy, Gaul, Spain, and North Africa in the 4th century. But cathedrals did not become universal within the Western Catholic Church until the 12th century, by which time they had developed architectural forms, institutional structures, and legal identities distinct from parish churches, monastic churches, and episcopal residences. In respect of the church buildings in the Eastern Orthodox Church, the English word cathedral commonly translates Catholican, meaning of assembly, but this title is also applied to monastic and other major churches without episcopal responsibilities. When the church at which an archbishop or metropolitan presides is specifically intended, the term cathedrikos naos is used. Following the Protestant Reformation, the Christian Church in several parts of Western Europe, such as Scotland, the Netherlands, certain Swiss cantons, and parts of Germany, adopted a Presbyterian polity that did away with bishops altogether. Where ancient cathedral buildings in these lands are still in use for congregational worship, they generally retain the title and dignity of cathedral, maintaining and developing distinct cathedral functions, but void of hierarchical supremacy. For the 16th century onwards, but especially since the 19th century, churches originating in Western Europe have undertaken vigorous programs of missionary activity, leading to the founding of large numbers of new dioceses with associated cathedral establishments of varying forms in Asia, Africa, Australasia, Oceania, and the Americas. In addition, both the Catholic Church and Orthodox churches have formed new dioceses within formerly Protestant lands for converts and migrant co-religionists. Consequently, it is not uncommon to find Christians in a single city being served by 3 or more cathedrals of differing denominations. In the Catholic tradition, the term cathedral correctly applies only to a church that houses the seat of the bishop of a diocese. The abbey church of a territorial abbacy serves the same function, but does not acquire the title in any other jurisdiction canonically equivalent to a diocese but not canonically erected as such. The church which serves this function is correctly called the principal church of the respective entity, though some have co-opted the term cathedral anyway. The Catholic Church also uses the following terms. A pro-cathedral is a parish or other church used temporarily as a cathedral, usually while the cathedral of a diocese is under construction, renovation, or repair. This designation applies only as long as the temporary use continues. A co-cathedral is a second cathedral in a diocese that has 2 sees. This situation can arise in various ways, such as a merger of 2 former dioceses, preparation to split a diocese, or perceived need to perform cathedral functions in a second location due to the expanse of the diocesan territory. A proto-cathedral is the former cathedral of a transferred see. The cathedral church of a metropolitan bishop is called the metropolitan cathedral. The term cathedral actually carries no implication as to the size or ornateness of the building. Nevertheless, most cathedrals are particularly impressive edifices. Thus, the term cathedral is often applied colloquially to any large and impressive church, regardless of whether it functions as a cathedral, such as the Crystal Cathedral in California Estonia, the Arctic Cathedral in Tromsø, Norway. Although the builders of Crystal Cathedral never intended the building to be a true cathedral, the Roman Catholic Diocese of Orange purchased the building and the surrounding campus in February 2012 for use as a new cathedral church. The building is now under renovation and restoration for solemn dedication under the title Christ Cathedral in 2018. Definition: the word cathedral is derived from the Greek word cathedra, and refers to the presence and prominence of the bishop's or archbishop's chair or throne, raised above both clergy and laity, and originally located facing the congregation from behind the high altar. In the ancient world, the chair on a raised dais was the distinctive mark of a teacher or a rhetor, and thus symbolizes the bishop's role as teacher. A raised throne within a basilican hall was also definitive for a late antique presiding magistrate, and so the cathedra also symbolizes the bishop's role in governing his diocese. The episcopal throne embodies the principle that only a bishop makes a cathedral, and this still applies even in those churches that no longer have bishops, but retain cathedral dignity and functions in ancient churches over which bishops formerly presided. But the throne can also embody the principle that a cathedral makes a bishop, both specifically, in that the bishop is elected within the cathedral and is inaugurated by being enthroned within the cathedral by acclamation of clergy and laity, and also generally, in that the bishop's essential qualifications of regular prayer, higher learning and musical worship were for many centuries primarily accessible through cathedral functions. In this, there is a distinction between those church traditions, predominantly those of Eastern Orthodox Christianity but formerly also including Celtic churches in Ireland, Scotland and Wales, whose bishops came to be made in monasteries, and those church traditions whose bishops have tended predominantly to arise through the ranks of cathedral clergy.